Hello everyone, welcome back to Skillify. Today we'll be learning a very advanced topic and very important one, that is Power Query. So what exactly Power Query is all about? Okay, so let me just explain that. So Power Query is an ETL tool. Okay, so I'm just specifying it ET and L. So what ETL basically means is E stands for extraction, T stands for transformation, and L stands for load. So E is for extraction. Yes. So E is for extraction, T is for transformation, and the last thing is your L is for load. So what exactly this extraction, transformation, load means? So basically you are extracting data from some source. Okay, the source can be anything. It could be from some, you're extracting data from a website, or you are just extracting data from a folder or from a server. So you are just extracting data from a source, right? It can be any source. You're extracting data. After that you are putting it into an editor, that is your Power Query, right? And you are just doing extraction, transformation in whatever transformation you want to do. You want to perform data cleaning or anything, right? You want to calculate some other uh, columns, that thing. So you are just transforming your data, and after that you are just loading back that data into Excel. So that is something we do by the help of Power Query in Excel right now. So the very vast area of use of Power Query is the data cleaning part, is usually when you have a lot of files, and then if someone asks you to clean it, it's hard to do that, with the usual Excel, right? So you can just open that thing in Power Query editor, and it will be so easy for you to just do that extraction part and all, right? And second thing about Power Query is it's easy to use, very thing, but it's like in Excel there are a lot of use of Power Query, right? Second thing is when you have to merge your data. For example, you are working in an organization, and you get the data on monthly basis, and then you have to merge those files one by one in order to give the summarized report, or you are preparing a dashboard and all, right? In that scenario, all you have to do is simple. You can just merge those files by the help of Power Query, right? So let's start how I can just perform this thing. For that, to access the Power Query in Excel, all you need to do is just go to the data tab, right? So when you are opening the data tab, you'll be having a lot of option out there. Okay, so I think a lot of you are familiar with this filter and some of your data tools from this section. That is the, we also have covered the data validation part from this section. So you can just check out those videos. Now the very first thing, how I can just open the Power Query editor in Excel. The very first thing you need to do is to get data from somewhere, right? I always say whenever you open a new tab, just focus on the group's name. They are self-explaining, right? So very first thing is get and transform data. And I already explained that thing is Power Query is an ETL tool. So now get data from where? Why we need to get data? So it is scenario based, right? Let's say you are someone who is doing some survey or something, and you need to just gather the secondary data, right? You are doing like some analysis on the behalf of someone or any organization. You need some data from any source. All you need to do is just, let's say from a website you want to gather the data, from a server you want to fetch out the data, that thing. So just click on this drop down and you'll see a lot of options out there. From file, in file itself it is showing you a lot of options, like from Excel workbook, from text or CSV files. CSV is your comma separated values, when your values are separated by comma, right? So some XML format, JSON format, if you want to fetch out data from a PDF or a folder or some SharePoint folders, right? Some servers like databases are there, Azure servers, right? Platforms, different some online service that is provided by Microsoft itself, right? So those things, like it is showing you a lot of option about the how you can just from the sources from where you can just get the data. Now how I want to get the data is, I will click on drop down, go to the file. I have a file in my laptop. So what I'll do is simple, I'll just go to this folder, I'll click on this folder. After that I have this file, and I will just click on open. So it will open a window in front of you for confirmation. So in that file, I have these three files, three different files from, let's say, Costco region, Target, and Walgreens. So basically, these are some all basically the shopping areas where we just get those things. daily stuff. So it is just telling you that in that folder I have these three different files. You need to do is simple, just check out like, okay, right now there are only three files, but there could be 30, right? Even the 300 can be there. So all you need to do is simple, just check out whether is it correct or not. So yes, I have three files, they are visible here. After that, see in the bottom, you have these three options, right? You have three options as like combine, load, transform data, and cancel. So in the combine one, just click on this drop down and check out. There are three options are there. First is combine and transform, combine and load two, like specific place you want to just give it, right? Where you want to load. So this because Power Query is also associated with Power BI. So that's why these options are there. Okay, now my main concern is to do some transformation in my data. So that for that I need to select this combine and transform data. I will click on this and it will open a window for me. Yes. So now it is asking like these are the files. So in this area, I have this data file. I will click on it. When you will be selecting, okay, let's say for example, you have selected a folder in which you have some default files also. So data preview is very important. Just click on data and it will show you that this is the data which you have right now, right? So this is the preview of my data. All I need to do is just click on OK. And now it is evaluating query for you, and this is in front of you is your Power Query editor. Okay, first understand what is exactly, like not too much, but most of the time it look like the Excel one. So the people who are good at using Excel and all those commands and all, so this interface is very common, right? So this is your working area where your queries will be calculated. Whatever result you want to see, that will be there. Over here you have queries, like from where you have fetched this file, right? What the parameters, you have seen the sample files, right? Then you have clicked on the transformation of the data. This is the way. So queries are basically, it is just whatever things you are just applying one by one, right? What are the concepts you are applying one by one? Those things are coming over here. If I move to the right hand side, you'll see the property about your file, which the folder you have selected, right? The source from where you are getting the data. So I have fetched this data from a folder named my employee data. After that, I have the applied step. So that is very important, right? Why this applied step is there? So applied step is whatever steps you have applied in order to fetch your data, or whatever steps you will be applying further, right? So you will be applying, let's say I want to do some transformation in my data, I want to do some things in my data. So that will be recorded in this section. So for example, the very first thing is there, that is change type. So right now I haven't done anything, right? So we'll see how to move with it. If I go to this menu bar, so we have a lot of options out there. So right now in the file section, if I for home section we are, so you want to close the file and load it back to somewhere. You have this refresh area. You want to check out the properties. You have the columns. You want to choose column, remove column, whatever things you want to perform, right? We have a lot of options. Now we have, if we have to transform our data, we have this transform tab. You click on it. Okay, if when you click on you'll clicking on the transform data, you'll be seeing that there are also multiple options out there. Okay, whatever things you want to perform. Then you, if you need to add a column or something, right, or how you want to view your query. Now the very first thing, let's start working on this section. We can just make it short now. Now see, what are the column names we have right now? So we have the source name, retailer, contact, retailer ID, order. One thing is that might be confusing for you. This over here, that is table dot transform column type. This is the language, right, on which actually the Power Query actually run. What the queries are, okay, and what these, how we write these queries. So Power Query Editor is a tool from where you, without even having a knowledge about this coding part, you can just you can just perform all those things, the steps, right? So this is the part of the coding section. So there is no need to worry about it. If you are familiar with this type of context or syntax, that's good. If not, no worries. Okay, so it will be showing you each and every step, whatever step, which step having which query and all. So now very first thing is, see, the very first column is coming as source dot name. So it is just telling you that, see, on the name is similar, retailer.costco, retailer.costco. If I just move it some more than this way, so this Costco will be changed to Target. So it is just, I have taken 3 5 in the consideration, right? So it is just telling me the source, but that is something we don't need and in our data, right? So what we can do is simple, we can just delete it, right? So all you need to do is just right click on it, just click on remove, and that your column is removed. Now just notice in the left hand side, your removed column is a step which you have just taken right now, right? So what you want to do is simple. Let's say someone said, okay, I just want to know from where you fetch this data. I just want that to be in your data. So what you can do is simple, you can just cross this step from here, and that step which you have calculated or you have performed will come back actually, right? So I'll do it again. I'll just delete this retailer one. Okay, select the entire column, click on remove, and that column is removed, and that query, that step is basically recorded over here. Okay, now for the steps, what are the steps we can take over here is right now, let's say in the next section you have the contact, right? Over here you have the retailer's name, next section you have the contact, you have retailer IDs, order dates, and also some other things which we can just perform. Okay, so now in the this one, let's say this Anna Costco. So basically there is a retailer, and the name of that retailer is like basically the contact is associated with their uh, from where actually they are coming. So if I scroll down, you'll see. So the name of the person is there, and then Mart. Okay, the Maria is there, and then Walgreen. The next name will be appear like 3 names. So basically, what I need is simple the name of the contractor, not the name of their basically from the place from I am getting this contract and all. So let's say I want to separate these values. I just want the name of the person, not the brand or the their place that from where they are just coming. Okay. So for that, what you can do is you want to separate them, or you want to just fetch out the text from it, right? So all you need to do is simple, select the entire column first. Okay. So go to the transform tab. Right now we are already in the transform tab. So what I have to do is simple click on this extract. Okay. In the text column, click on this extract, click on the drop down. Okay. So after this drop down, I need to check out what value you want to fetch out. Just understand the topic. I want to fetch out the value before the some delimiters. We have discussed what the delimiter is actually. It can be a space, it can be a hyphen, it can be a comma, some other things, right? A value which is just separating two different text or some two different values, right? Right now we have a space over here and a hyphen also. So I want to fetch out the text which is before the delimiter. So from this section I need to click on the text before delimiter, right? So I have clicked on it. A dialog box is in front of me. So first is I need to give it a space and a hyphen, right? So these two things are there. The space is there, or let's say even the hyphen is not necessary. Just space. Leave the space and just click on OK. You'll see that that Costco is no more there, right? So we have fetched out the value which was before the delimiter, right? So this is the one thing which we can perform. Now the retailer ID is good. Second thing we can just do is see, we have order date, payment date is there, region and states are there, beverage branch, price per unit sold and all. So the very first thing I can do is, let's say I want to just check out how many days it took us to get paid, right? For example, on which date I got the payment and on which date they have ordered something. Okay. So for that, what you need to do is simple. First, you need to minus the payment date from the order date, right? So if someone has ordered on the 5th of a month and they get you paid on the 15th, so it took you like entirely 10 days to get paid. So that thing, if I want to calculate how many days it takes us to get paid, that how can you do that? It is simple. Just select the both columns together. Okay. So click on this payment is selected. Now pressing the shift key, click on the order date. Okay. After that, simple, just go to this add column. In the add column section, go to the date. In the date one, just click on this subtract days. And now see that thing, that column is like it came into the last of your existing table, right? If I move over here, I have the retailer contact, retailer ID, order date, payment, region and all. So the column which I have calculated recently is there. And now let's say I want to just change the name of it, just double click on it and we can change it to, let's say days to get paid. Okay. Now what other thing we can calculate is simple, let's say, okay, so yes, these is calculated. Okay. One thing is we have this price per unit is there, right? And unit sold is there. Second thing, I can just calculate it, let's say revenue, right? So that unit sold and price per unit, we need to, all I need to do is simple to multiply it together, right? So just select both columns over here, select the unit sold, press shift key and select the price per unit also. Go to this standard one, right? All you need to do is just multiply them together, click on multiply, and now see a new column that is named by the operation which you have performed. The multiplication is coming over here. Double click on it to change it. So change will be revenue. Okay, now see how easy it is to do the changes. Next thing is, let's look at our data. Okay, so we can just change their data types and all, right? So, for example, what I'm meaning by this is simple. This price per unit is not just a number, right? It's something, it's a currency or all. So, to change the type of the headings, like the data type of the values, you have this drop down, click on this, basically not drop down, the value in front of it. Understand this. If I move to the front of it, see, retailer is a normal text. So you can see that this ABC is appearing. This is just reflecting that this is a text. If I move to the contact, also a text. Retailer is a number, right? Order date is a date. If I move to the beverage brand or the payment, all these are different. Now see this 1 point. This is also a number, basically the decimal one. So I need to convert it into the currency. So click on it and it will show you the option. Multiple option to change the data type. Just click on currency and it will be changed at the currency. So that thing is not will reflected. It's not like the dollar sign will appear in front of all your values, but the data type is now currency, right? Same thing we can do with the unit sold. You can just make it to the currency. Same thing to the revenue, made it to the currency, right? Yes. Now, one last thing will be in there is like to make some changes in my data is simple. Now, see this area, this region and state is these are two different things, right? This region and state are two different things. Region should be in a different column, and your state should be in a different column. So how you can just do it basically? I want to separate them. Okay, just select the entire column, go to the transform tab. Okay, in the transform tab you have the text column again. Okay, so the split column is there. Click on the split column and it is asking how you want to split the column. So again the delimiter part is there. So you need to do is simple, just select which delimiter you want to put after it. So I want to just divide or split my text on the basis of delimiter. So I will click on the by delimiter and that you have to provide. If I just move this, see what is a delimiter over here is that is two hyphens, right? So you can just provide two hyphens one by one and just click on OK. And now see this region is there and this state is there, but the headings name are different. Basically, point one, point two. You can just change it, right? You can just make it a region, and same thing you can do it with the state also, right? So this, I think that is all. Now see on the right hand side, all the steps which you have taken, rename the column, you have changed the type. We have changed the type to number to dollar. The split column is there, and all those things. Whatever you want to perform, right? You want to calculate a new column, you can just do that. You want to remove a column, you can do it. Whatever things you want to change, you want to add, subtract, multiply, anything we can do by the help of Power Query. Now, what is the last thing which is remaining is simple. Now, data is sorted basically. We have just clean up our data, whatever things we wanted to be, they are there. Now, last thing is to load it back, right? So just come to this file tab and it is asking like close and load, right? Just click on close and load. Now see, your table is ready. It get load back to the Excel. Now you can see that the retailer is there, your contact are there, retailer IDs are there, order date, payment date, west. The columns which you have calculated were your days to get paid and revenue which you have calculated, right? Now it is there. And now if you have to do the data analysis, all you need to do is just click inside the table, click on the insert tab, go to the pivot table, and pivot table will be inserted on your data. Click on OK, right? So you have the sheet, and let's say you want to just check out the revenue. Okay, so just put the revenue in the values, but revenue on the basis of what? So I want to check the revenue on the basis of region, so I will put the region into the row. This is the way. So we have only two regions, that is south and west, and this is basically your sum of revenue is this way, right? And on the basis of, let's say, not region, just remove the region from the section, put the state in the rows. Again, two states were there, and it is showing you this way. If I change something else, retailer's ID, you want to check it, or like whatever things you want to perform the analysis, you can just do it. Now the best part of the Power Query is the additional part about it is simple. Let's say right now we have taken three files in the consideration, right? We took the three files. Now, in case if the file get changed, or like there are four files, there are five files, the number of files got increased. So Power Query is something which just the data which you have changed, the queries which you have applied, the steps which you have applied will be there forever, right? Until or unless you are just deleting the query completely. So if the file will be inserted into your that particular folder which you have extracted in the initial of your plan and all, so that will be automatically updated, right? That fourth file will be a part of your table itself. So let's say you have a table, right? We had this table in Power Query, we made the changes, then we loaded back to the Excel. After that we have applied the pivot table on it. So go to the pivot analyze, and all you need to do is just click on the refresh, and if the file will be inserted into that folder which you have extracted initially, then you will be doing refresh all, so the data will be reflected over here. So that is the magic of Power Query. I hope it is clear to everyone, and if any one of you have any doubt, you can just ask us in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care, bye bye, and like the video and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.